welcome to the ninth episode of the NHL Daily Talk Show. I'm with Nate today, once again,
Mm-hmm.
and today we are reviewing the Chicago Blackhawks.
So if you are a bandwagon fan or a fan of Blackhawks, I suggest tuning away from this video because I'm going to offend all of you.
There you have it. Um,
I mean, thanks for clicking on it and giving us the view, but you can go away now.
What your top stories? Nothing. We didn't really have anything big either. I'm just looking for something. This NHL history. Dickie Moore was introduced into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1974. Moore played for the St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Montreal Canadiens. His career ended with the Blues, but majority of his seasons were in Montreal. He won the Stanley Cup a total of 6 times from 1953 to 1960. 5 of them in that span of time was in a row from 1956 to that year of 1960.
Huh.
That's crazy. No scores. We have some transactions. Got 2 for today. Anaheim of Franco Bushman. He was signed to a 1-year contract. He'll be returning with the team. I like it. The Anaheim team gets better. In Columbus, you got Douglas Summary. Signed to a 2-year entry-level contract, leaving the Islanders. Just was not going to work there, so he'll start his NHL career with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I checked out his stats, and I think he'll be in the AHL most of his season, but that's fine. Give it a year, maybe 2 or 3. No interview reports, no schedule, and to the main discussion about the Chicago Blackhawks 2017-18 team review. In the 2016-17 season, they finished 15th in the NHL, winning the Central Division Championship. The offseason began on April 21st, 2017, when they got swept by the Nashville Predators in round 1, which was interesting for sure. So I mean, they made some good additions, and they also got 1 guy back, 2 guys back. My fault. But they got Gene Francois, B-Rob, Lance Boma, Lauren Dauphin, Colin Delia, Anton Forsberg, David Camp, Connor Murphy, Nathan Knoll, Jordan Usherell, June Rutta, Brennan Saad, Patrick Sharp, and Tommy Wingles. There are some pretty good additions to this team, but what do you think was the best addition out of this?
I think bringing Brandon Saad back was a good move.
I agree.
He's more mature than Artem Panarin. I have no idea how to say his name. I probably just butchered the hell out of that. But he will be good to bring some leadership to the depth lines of Chicago, which is what they don't really have. Like, yeah, they have Kane and Taves, but they're not on the ice when the third and the fourth lines are on. So I think that's a good move for Chicago. Just let those young guys have someone that they can work with throughout the season this year.
Yeah. I agree with the same thing. They got rid of him. Basically the same reason Panarin's out. But now Saad's back in. And I think he's gonna have a really good season this year. So let's move on to subtractions. They lost a lot, but there's some big stuff here for sure. They lost Ryan Campbell. He'll be having a role for the Blackhawks in the front office as he retired. Got Matt Cartwright, Scott Darling, Chris D'Souza, Andrew Desjardins, Jake Dowell, Dylan Fournier, Kenton Helgeson, Nicholas Hjalmarsson, Lars Johansson, Marcus Kruger, Pierre Cedric Lavery, Sean Lalonde, Michael Latta, Martin Lundberg, Brady Maschinter. You got Evan Mosey, Tyler Mott, Johnny Oduya, Artemi Panarin, Dennis Rasmussen, Maxim Shalinov, Nolan Valley, and you got Trevor Van Riemsdyk. So, what do you think was the biggest loss from Chicago this year?
I think it's gonna probably be Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Just losing a key defender on for them is going to be a bit of a problem because that is definitely undeniably the weakest part of Chicago. I'm not saying it's horrible, but losing one of their key pieces in that area is definitely going to hurt them this next season. They can score goals, but I think Chicago was proven that against the Nashville Predators, especially that they have to be able to keep it out of the net, no matter how minuscule his team may seem. So losing Johnson is going to not help him in that category, in my opinion.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I looked at Panera and Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson's been in the playoffs every single year, but I don't think, unfortunately, he's probably going to miss it. But I think he's going to be trying hard for Arizona, trying to get him in. But we'll see what's going to happen. And stuff can happen. But I went with Panarin on this one, just because I listened to all of you why it was bad losing him. I mean, you also lost Tyler Mott, which he was entering his first year, I believe, in the NHL level. But losing Panarin, may lose him.
My Skype call just died.
What?
Oh, never mind, I'm back.
But losing Panarin, I mean, with Hossa gonna be out the whole season, it's gonna be lower goal scoring for this team by a little. Not too much, but for sure it's gonna take effect. So, got their projected lines. These are just how I have them. So we have Brandon Saad, Jonathan Toews, and Richard Panik. Got Patrick Sharp, Artem Anisimov. You got Patrick Kane, Brian Hartman, Nick Smoltz, and Tommy Wingles, Lance Boma, Tanner Kero, and Thomas Churko. For defense, Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, Michael Kempney, and Connor Murphy, and Gustav Forsling, and Michael Roosevelt. And for your goaltenders, you got Corey Crawford and Anton Forsberg. I love that backup goaltender right there, because he could be the future of the Chicago Blackhawks as a goaltender. He's a young goaltender. I believe he's won the Calder Cup in the AHL a year ago. Not Grand Rapids, unfortunately, won it this year. But
yeah.
I mean, it looks a little weak in all this stuff. Like, I was talking to a few Blackhawks fans about this. They said they would be fine. I said, give it another year or two, and then we can talk about all these players being good. I mean, they are some good players, but you gotta develop them. Like, your top two are mostly developed in defense, and yeah, get your bottom six developed. Good thing is your third line is getting developed well. Wingles had a few years in the NHL. And then you got Lance Boma. He needs to recover. And then you got Kiro and Jerko. That gotta grow. So let's discuss about this team. Will this team win the Central Division this year?
No, definitely not. Um,
I can't
yeah,
think of
no.
a team that would beat them. I mean, I don't think it would be Dallas, but I mean, it's still possible. I would like that to be the case, but I don't know. What do you think?
Um,
The Blues?
Probably the
Nashville?
Predators.
Oh,
I think the Predators have
should have used my
momentum.
head. That's right. Should have
Yeah,
used my head.
the Predators are going to be a very lethal team in about 2 or 3 seasons, but the Central Division isn't exactly the strongest division in the NHL right now, so I definitely see it being tight, but Chicago's not coming out on top. Um, Chicago fans need to just, like, I know it's been a while since I've had to do this, but for me as a Leafs fan and you as a Tampa Bay fan, you will understand what a rebuild is. That's what Chicago's
I,
starting to do. They're setting up for it. They're keeping key pieces like Tays and Kane and Duncan Keith because they have to. Otherwise, the team will completely shart the bed, which is what the Leafs did because they're stupid. But, like, yeah, the Blackhawks are going for a rebuild. There's no deniability about that. Will they make the playoffs? Yes.
yeah, I
Will
can
they
agree
make
on
it
that.
past the second round? I'm
No,
probably gonna have to say no. They can
same
probably
here.
they can probably get through the first round depending who they're versing, but they are not the team that they were 2, 3 years ago.
Hmm. That's what I tell all these Blackhawks fans, and they disagree with me.
Well, because they're bandwagoners and they don't know what
Yeah.
rebuild means.
Hmm.
Like, what? We won 3 cups.
I mean, Tampa basically did a rebuild. Like, I don't know. It
Shit, I
started.
just
It
dropped.
started in the middle of the third, third or fourth quarter of the season. They started getting all these older guys out and just replacing them with a bunch of young guys, and they made some big moves, and they got 2 veterans for the team. But that's not the time to talk about that. So we'll be expecting to see Chicago in the playoffs this year, but how far they will get, the highest they are going to get, in my opinion, is a round 2. No doubt about it. If they make the conference finals, I don't know. I guess you can comment below and give me a challenge, I guess. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna make it to
Hmm.
conference finals, so you're safe.
Yeah, I hope I am. So, I didn't want to do this today either for no questions and predictions. Just gotta think of some slowly but surely. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope you hope y'all enjoyed it. Children of all ages, by the way. So tomorrow, I believe we're talking about the worst team in the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche. If they will, I don't know.
You know
Well,
what's bad when people like analysts are saying that you're gonna finish below a team that just entered the league.
hmm. So there you go. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. And let me just make sure real quick before we end it, so I don't sound like I don't know. Yep, Colorado tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.